Peace and love, family. I just wanted to talk to you real quick about something that I was contemplating today. When it comes onto this whole journey of soul care and, self-love and self-care, it's so important to remind ourselves of the concept of forgiveness. When we think about forgiveness, we think about forgiving people that have done us wrong in our lives. But one thing that we fail to incorporate or acknowledge is actually forgiving ourselves. So I remember way back when I was in therapy that the therapist brought up, some things that happened to me in the past. And she asked me a very, very important question that nobody's ever asked me. She asked me if I could look back at my life and forgive myself. And in that moment, looking back at my life, all I could do was cry. I cried for about 15, 20 minutes straight like a baby because I just felt so dumb about all of the choices, the lack of guidance, the people that used me, the people that abused me, and just everything, all of the events that happened in my life then that brought me to where I was now. And just saying, you were so stupid, Trisha. Like, how could you forgive such a stupid girl? And I'm talking about myself like this, and one thing I realized, 3 sessions later was that there's so many things, so many choices that we make in our lives that cause us pain, so many things that we allow people to do to us because, again, lack of guidance, lack of, knowledge or whatever it may be, that causes us pain, that causes us to be bitter, that causes us to not love ourselves because of the choices that we made, thinking that, we should be in a better place. We should be doing better for ourselves. And we get hard on ourselves for where we're at in our lives and what we've become, quote unquote. So it wasn't until the 3rd session, after crying terribly, like really crying, just getting all of those emotions out. I didn't realize how closed my heart chakra was. I didn't realize how angry I was at myself for the choices that I made. And eventually I did forgive myself. And in that moment, all of those feelings of being angry, all of that shame and guilt and resentment that I had for myself that came from all of the choices that I made in the past, it just slowly started to dissipate. And I started to feel lighter. I began looking at myself in the mirror differently. And, that's when I really felt like my journey to self-love really started. When, and this is for everybody, when you could really look in the mirror and forgive yourself. When you could say, I love you and I forgive you. And really talk to your younger self. And I did that in therapy as well. She made me speak to the younger version of myself and give myself advice and, speak to the younger version of myself as in, in a mother's position. And when I look back at it, I really was naive. I really didn't have any guidance. And the choices that I made were based off of, the knowledge that I had at that time. So how could I be mad at that little girl? How could I resent and be angry with that little girl for, the choices that she made and what happened? So, I just want to remind you all that it's not about forgiving other people. It's when it comes on to self-love and just really growth, and evolution, we have to learn to forgive ourselves first, forgive yourself first. Because that is what's going to free your spirit. That's what's going to lighten your soul. That's what's going to make you be able to look in the mirror and actually like and love what you see. Peace and love, family. Just wanted to share that with you today.